I'll go buy every Tim Tam from Coles and I mail them all to your house at the same time. I'll just drown you in Tim Tams. If all your clients were to leave you tomorrow, they all just got hit by a bus at the same time, you know exactly the process and you could fill that client roster up. You could have 5 more high paying clients, be back at 10K a month.
I was like, fucking hell, I had bills to pay, I had a lot of masterminds I was in that I needed to pay. I was like, I was a huge fire under my chair.
I don't care if you can sell fucking ice to an Eskimo. It doesn't matter how good of a copywriter you are. If no one knows you exist, you're not gonna get hired. So first outreach message you ever sent was your first client?
Yes.
Chris. People brag about getting a 20% raise. You literally 10x your income in 3 months. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I have a very special guest joining us today. My good friend, the man, the myth, the legend, AJ Nair came all the way here from Sydney just to do this interview for you guys. Can you believe that? Dude, welcome. It's a pleasure to finally meet you in person after, 100 Zoom calls or so. You have a very, very interesting story. Very impressive, very inspiring story, I think, for a lot of people. Basically joined us and hit 10K a month within 100 days or something like that, 3 months?
110, yeah.
110, not that he was counting, but about 110 days. So dude, I just want to have a bit of a chat. I know we've been catching up. We just had dinner, so we're nice and full. Yeah, just kind of your story. It'd be really interesting to hear where you came from, where you were before, where you are now, and some specific things that you actually did to go from pretty much zero, or wherever you were before, a couple grand a month, I think, to basically earning, 6 figures, 100K a year as a freelance copywriter. Very impressive. Most people never hit that. The ones that do take a year, 2 years to do it. So obviously there's some things that you figured out along the journey that I'd love to share here with my YouTube audience and help them out how we can. So a bit of backstory would be cool, I think. If you could kind of share, like, how did you actually get into this whole industry? How did you get into copywriting? Everyone kind of has some complicated, weird way that they still moved into the copywriting world. So it'd be cool to hear how you actually got into it before I even entered the picture.
Sure, so let's see. Before CME, before this whole thing, I think I got into copy at around 2018. So 2018, I was like doing, e-com. I was finding out like Shopify. I was into that whole space, really finding, okay, this thing, because one of my friends was doing, he had a Black Friday 300K deal. And I was like, fucking hell, okay, if that guy can make 300K, it's Black Friday, what can I do? Right, so I started e-com. With e-com, I was like, okay, I did make sales, but I was burning way more money with Facebook ads. So I went back a bit and I said, okay, what made my product sell? Copywriting. Okay, let's see who I could learn from. And I found this guy called Jason Capital. The man, the myth, the legend.
Mr. Capital, I know that man.
So Jason Capital had this sales pitch called Capital Copywriting Certification. This is where I actually saw you. So I saw on the sales pitch, it's a beautifully written sales pitch. At the start, I saw Ferres. He had there's a screenshot of him with a GT Mustang. If you want to put it here, though.
Fuck outside.
I saw this man, with this whole getup. He had the beard. And I actually saw that and I was like, man, that's really cool, but fuck this guy. He's maybe a scammer, I don't know. Something about your face was just...
Damn, bro.
I was just like...
Throw me under the bus like that.
Cool story, bro. And I scrolled down, I saw one of Sean's students now, James Conti. I saw him standing out of the airplane. And I was like, man, cool story, bro. Like, fuck you. It's like,
the private jet.
Private jet.
Yeah.
But I bought the course because it was so good, and that got me started with copywriting. And using that skills, that's how I actually got my first client. I did actually the Yamazaki method, the Loom video. So what I did was, I was part of this course, it's a self-development course, and I saw the sales page and I was like, man, this sales page is like kind of bad, and the content is fucking good. So what I did was, I made a Loom video. I was like, hey man, you can do this better, and a sales page, and I sent it over to him by email. Yeah. He saw it, he was like, okay, this is interesting. First time ever I got this Loom message from a guy. I bought his course. Yeah, it was a monthly thing, but I got on a call and he ended up being my first client.
So first outreach message you ever sent was your first client?
Yes.
Chris, that's rare.
Message.
That's super rare.
I didn't even know it was a sales call. I was just like, man, 20 USD an hour, like I was a god.
Yeah, that's insane.
So I was earning, making about 1 to 2K. I was living in Singapore at the time. So Singapore, that's, you live like a king if you have no overhead expenses, you're a uni kid, you're doing pretty well. So fast forward to that until right around 2021. Kind of was thinking, okay, fuck this shit, let's get a business. I have this much money I spend in masterminds and in fucking courses. I was in a rut. And I was like, okay, one of my buddies actually, Sean Yee, who I actually owe credit to actually meeting you, because if not, never would have fucking met you.
Sean's a legend, man. What can I say?
Sean's a legend. So because of Sean, he said, hey man, I see you struggling with clients, trying to cold email, trying to do all this. Why not talk about CMB? And I was like, what the fuck CMB? I've never seen your ads, never seen anything of the sort. But I was like, okay, this whatever the CMB thing is, check this out. I was like, this is for me. I saw your playlist, I saw his YouTube videos, interviews Ray Pang, Luca, and I was like, I'm sold. I don't need a sales pitch.
Do you remember it was me, the guy from the sales page from Jason's page with the car?
I believe so,
Did
yeah.
that click in your head? I'm like, dude, it's this douchebag again.
It was this. I think now Sean's haircut now is a lot more better. So it's
Yeah, I had a man one back then, but I didn't have the facial hair to pull it off, so it wasn't the best look, I'll be honest.
It's mature now, so saw his stuff. I was like, okay, this is for me. Straight up, I saw Luca's stuff. I can do it in 30 days. If this young kid at 60 can do it, what can I fucking do? And I was like, dude, just fucking send me the link. I was like, please send me the link. Got on it, and yeah, then I got into the course. So one client until 2020, had another client, but if anything was one-off things, this was like a gold mine that I'll just keep on. I just kept drilling because there was money to be made.
So you're just getting all these one-time projects?
With one client, I was getting a retainer of like an hourly thing. So I'd be like, okay, this sales page needs working on, email needs working on. It was very much me working as a copywriter under someone else, like a chief copywriter, for example.
Yeah, like it was enough to get by and pay the bills and stuff, but it wasn't enough to actually I'm not really killing it at life yet, you know. Okay, so join us, May 1st.
May 1st.
2022. Not too long ago. Dude, you were one of the hardest workers. Probably to date, top 3 hardest workers that we have in terms of this guy was literally on every single Zoom call that we did. We have 2 Zoom calls, Q&A calls with me every single week on the same day, both Tuesday, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. I have the 6 p.m. one for people in Europe and the 9 a.m. one for people in America and Australia. This dude would literally join us on the calls at 9 a.m. He would ask me for my take on something. He would literally go and implement it same day, launch the ads, reach out, whatever it is, change the sales page, and then he would literally report back on the 6 p.m. call, 9 hours later. He's like, hey man, I implemented it, here's the feedback, what should we do next? And so literally, he was basically able to move at twice the speed because he's like implementing, getting advice on the evening call, which is crazy. I've never had anyone do that in 4 years of doing this, 500 clients. So you got a pretty legit result with the program. I mean, that's kind of our promise, 10K within 100 days, but you really made it happen. What do you attribute to that success that you had with CMB? In terms of, I know you put the work in. Is there anything you did in particular? What did you do in those 100 days? Put yourself back in the shoes of you're making 1,000 or so bucks a month as a freelance copywriter, and you join the program. It's this 10-week thing. You have all these strategies to implement. What do you do first? What's the goal? What's like your mentality? What's your approach with the whole situation?
Right. So May 1st, 2022. At that point, even the client who used to pay me 1.2K, it was like maybe 200 USD because of not much work coming in. The head copywriter of that company left, so I was like, no work. I was like, fucking hell. I had like bills to pay. I had a lot of masterminds I was in that I needed to pay. I was like, I was a huge fire under my chair.
You invested a significant amount to join us as well.
Yeah, there was that as well. Like I had to make something within 30 days.
Because the payment plan.
What the fuck would that happen? So huge fire under my ass. Day one, I was like, look, my mentality was until I hit 10K, every single time that Sean had a call, I was joining. 9 a.m., attend the call, ask question, do the work, 6 p.m. come back, okay, Sean did this, what is the next steps? For, 3 months.
Yeah, it's super legit, man. You sped really quickly from the beginning. What do you think enabled you to make so much progress so quickly? Is there any decisions you made at the beginning, maybe around like your niche, your outreach approach? Did you kind of dilly-dally and try and provide a bunch of services to a bunch of niches, or did you kind of just pick one from the get-go and like go after it? Because that's a big thing like a lot of freelancers do in the beginning is they kind of just tip their toe in the water and they try a bit of this niche, a bit of that niche, a bit of this service, a bit of that service, some email, some sales pages, which is not necessarily a bad thing because it's kind of part of a discovery process. You got to learn what you like, what you enjoy, what you hate, what you're good at, what you're not so good at. But obviously you're going to move a lot more slowly doing that. So do you kind of attribute the fact that you just like picked something from the get-go and then just like went ham on it to your success?
I chose the financial niche, financial advisors. I was like, hey, there's a big market in Australia. Let's try to make something happen. Picked that for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I found out, okay, this wasn't working very well. I was even reaching out to advisors, financial coaches in the US. And I was like, okay, it's not going very well. They're not interested in email marketing, Facebook ads. And then I kind of got clarity on Sean. I'm like, look, dude, what the fuck did I say in week 1, week 2? One offer, one niche, one service, just focus on one. It's like, okay, I have a background a little bit in real estate marketing in the US. Why can't I use that in Australia? There's a big market in Australia. Let's try and do something with it. So I kind of took a step back after 2 or 3 weeks of like just, doing the wine dine strategy, that IG message that Sean speaks about in the program. I was just doing that on repeat and I was like, wait, this is not working. take a step back, and then reevaluate. So I did LinkedIn for a while. I was finding out, hey, where are my clients? Where are my prospective clients? And a lot of them actually wasn't on IG. They were on LinkedIn. They were a lot active in their email. So LinkedIn, I focused on that first while I was warming up my cold email domain. So LinkedIn first, got a few trials here and there, got to make something work. Then once cold email hit with the right offer that, I went to Sean, I went relentlessly. I got the email perfected, sent it out, boom, first email in my 4-part sequence, 2 calls booked. The guy said, where were you? Like, you were made for me.
Yeah.
Because of the offer, because of who I was, I marketed to buyer agents in Australia. No other market was doing that. So that's how I stood out.
Yeah, it's kind of a debate among the community. There's the whole shotgun approach camp and the sniper approach camp, right? Shotgun approach is kind of like spray and pray. It's like, man, if I just DM 1,000 people, one of them will surely want what I have, right? And they copy paste and they send these generic scripts, which obviously is a lot faster to send, but it's not personalized, it's not customized, and doesn't get as high of a response rate. Then there's the sniper camp, which, if you can't tell, I definitely prefer, which is way more personalized, way more customized. So it would be, for example, filming a Loom video for someone. It would be, taking the time just to do the most basic level of research about someone's life, their product, their service. Just look at their social media, pick something in specific to talk about. It does take longer because you can't just copy paste the same thing to everyone. But of course, you get a drastically high response rate. So I think I've kind of given away the answer to this question. But did you find that essentially switching from kind of more of a shotgun spray and pray approach to like a very targeted specific sniper approach, was that a game changer for you? Like, did that make you pretty
That was everything. Like even people who join your program. So one of the guys that, one of my friends who found so much value in Sean's program, he asked me look man, I've been through other copy courses and I'm trying to do all this email stuff, BizOp, whatever that's out there. I'm just trying what he said, shotgun approach. He's asking, what's your perspective on niching down? I'm like, dude, niche in not day 1, not day 0, day -1. You gotta fucking niche down, because how else are you gonna prove that you're an authority in the field? How else is someone gonna look at you and be like, you were made for me, that you were made to help me? And that's the effect I had on my clients. When I put my offer out, they're like, I never knew you existed. Where were you all this time?
What do you say to people who are kind of maybe there's a few different niches they want to consider, or they've written for a whole variety of different niches. They're like, man, I love fitness, I love making money,
and dating.
I love hot girls and Bugattis. You know what I mean? It's super generalist. They kind of do a bit of this, a bit of that. A lot of people say, well, if I niche down too much, I'm alienating 99% of the people that I could help. Because I could help I could help fitness coaches, I could help gym owners, I could help yoga studio owners, I could help financial coaches, real estate gurus, I could help e-com course sellers, and but if I only pick one niche, I'm going to alienate so much of the market. What do you kind of say to those people?
I think you got to look at it about what your clients want. Take a look at their perspective. What are they looking for? What are you looking for at someone? What did I look for you? You didn't market to freaking e-com sellers. You didn't market to fitness enthusiasts. You didn't market to people who want to play tennis better and want to do copy as well.
Yeah.
No. His offer was what? Copywriters want to make 10K in 3 months, in 100 days. Your course will work for video editors. It will work for anyone in the freelance industry, but you chose to focus on copywriting. Why? Why copywriters?
I mean, exactly as you said, right? It's pretty much impossible to brand yourself as being the expert at everything. But if you say, you are an expert at helping Pilates studio owners scale their business with email marketing, that's pretty believable. There's not that many of them out there. You know what I mean? If you're I help people grow their businesses, you're literally competing with fucking Alex Hormozy and Grant Cardone and everyone, versus I help Pilates studios owners scale their businesses from 6 to 7 figures with email. You're pretty much in a category of one. I don't know anyone else that really brands themselves as doing that specifically. So you can imagine if a Pilates studio owner doing 6 figures comes across your page, whether it's through an ad or through you call DM them, whatever, they're pretty much going to be 100 times more receptive to your message, because they're holy shit, did this person literally just fall down from the heavens into my lap? That's what I call a niche effect. It's something a lot more freelancers need to take on board when they get started. So big rookie error. Okay, so you go through the program, you're implementing like a savage. Let's fast forward to where you are now, just to give you a bit of credibility, and then we can talk about what you specifically did to get there. So you joined us in May 1st, you were doing $1,200 a month or something like that. Yeah, one client.
That's yeah.
Fast forward to May, June, July. was it start of August or something like that?
August, yeah.
Yeah.
Mid-August was when I got.
Was that your first 10K month?
That was my first 10K month.
August.
Right around August 17th. I remember the date.
Yeah, there you go.
They sent the invoice and a day later, like they paid, but then a day later I received the money and I'm like, okay.
I did it. What did I feel like?
I did it. Relief, honestly, it was just more like relief and like okay, time to deliver value. There's only one thing to do now.
Straight to the next thing. Start executing.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's go out there and like fucking buy some, sick designer clothing.
Buy a
like,
business ticket.
Move out, let's fly private to the Bahamas. Like, a lot of other people have those thoughts. So, no, you sound like a straight operator. You're just like, all right, work's just getting started. Time to deliver.
Probably took a break for like a couple of days because I was going to Europe. So I was like, okay. So that's kind of. I took a bit of a break. Went to Europe, still hustled hard, but oh man, learning time management. But yeah, no, all about value for clients.
That's really cool, man. How's life actually changed for you now that you're making effectively 10 times more money than you were in May? Like, that's no joke. Like, people brag about getting a 20% raise. Like, you literally 10x your income in 3 months. That's pretty impressive, dude. How's life different now? Like, has anything changed? Like, has your lifestyle at all changed much? Even if not, because you might be on the financially savvy side where you're like, hey, I don't actually need to go
actually saving.
inflate my lifestyle and spend all this money I'm making. Maybe less so in terms of lifestyle, but more so in terms of like internal shifts, belief in yourself, your confidence. Like, what kind of changes have you noticed since hitting that milestone?
I think the biggest thing in the world is just that safety, that security. It's just that you actually have cash. For me, that savings was about 3K. I wanted to have 3K in my bank, in my savings that I don't fucking touch. It doesn't go to crypto, it doesn't go to any other thing. It's just that. And until I hit a 10K month, I could never have that be there. Until now. Even today, for example, I flew to meet Sean, my flight got fucking cancelled. I had to rebook another flight, I had to stay in Gold Coast for a night. But Gold Coast isn't cheap. It's anywhere from like 200 to 400 bucks. And for me, it wasn't even a thought. It was like, yeah, of course. I'm not gonna ask to bunk in like Sean's house. I'm not gonna sleep on the couch. I'm just gonna get a place, and it isn't even a thought that enters your mind that you can just do it. And I want to enjoy the nightlife here. So that security and like just that sense of ease.
Yeah, you can just sleep easy at night knowing that like, hey,
exactly.
If shit goes wrong tomorrow, I'm not fucked, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll be fine.
I'm gonna be totally fine. And I think that's really powerful. That's probably one of the most powerful feelings of just safety and security and just knowing like, hey, no matter what happens with inflation, with my stock portfolio, with
the job market,
with crypto, with NFTs, like with real estate, you know what I mean? It's like with all these external forces that I can't control, like I'm still gonna be totally fine. Like if the price of lettuce goes up by $1, I'm gonna be okay. You know what I mean? The price of petrol goes up by like 6 cents, it's like I'm still gonna be
fine.
Yeah, I'm not stressing. I think that's the first thing that is a super big relief. Like people say money doesn't buy happiness, but it's like I think it solves a lot of problems that not having money causes. So I think that's like the initial first hurdle that you get to, and you're like, finally, it's removed all my stress about money.
I'm like hiring now. I'm delegating.
I think to get your time back.
Starting to get my time back. That's now I'm just like there's so many things in my life that I'm like, okay, 5 deadlines. I got consulting gigs going on. Hey, even if tomorrow like my client said fuck you and just like drop me, I'm like, okay, I can go out there with the strategies that you have taught, and I can get it again. And I think that system of getting clients, I've never seen that anywhere in my life. Like for me to have CMB as a course was a godsend. It's like who teaches this? Anyone who's a copywriter, we both have gone through a copyright course. Alex Catoni maybe. Like all these copy courses teach you how to like copy only. No one teaches you how to get clients, which is the most important thing.
How do you monetize the skill that you have, right?
What's the point of writing a 10K sales page if you can't even find someone to charge 10K for?
Yeah, 100%. Would you say more so than having the financial safety and security now, I think something equally, if not more powerful, is like knowing that you have the skill set that if all your clients were to leave you tomorrow, they all just got hit by a bus at the same time in different cities and different countries around the world. Like, knock wood, that doesn't happen. You know exactly the process that you would need to do, and you could fill that client roster up. You could have 5 more high-paying clients, get back at 10K a month. You would be able to get back up there pretty quickly. And I think that is the most powerful feeling of all that.
Something I love to touch on, Sean, is that structure that you provide. When I was trying to find clients before you, it was more like, hey, try and cold email this, like cold call. I hated cold calling.
Name me someone who likes cold calling. Name me one person in the world, and I'll show you a while. No one likes cold calling. Fuck that.
But just having that step-by-step thing, that gave me so much security. I didn't have to do A, B, C, or D. It was just A, stick to that, you get it.
Just the clarity of like knowing exactly do this
Knowing
and
the
then
steps.
once you've done that, then do this and then do this. It's like just removes all the guesswork out of it, right? It's like,
There's so much stress even that, will this work? No, because fucking 10 other people, 40 other people have achieved that. I think I have a chance.
yeah. Well, you're what, like the 49th six-figure success story we have since I started keeping track during the pandemic. So I know we have more, but I haven't counted them properly. And people don't even tell me either, which is really annoying. They're like, hey man, by the way, I hit 10 grand a month like 6 months ago. If you didn't tell me, I live for this shit. Like, anyway. But it's like, yeah, exactly right. We've helped, 49 people hit a 6 and 7 figure income since the pandemic. Like, it's probably not an accident at this point, I like to believe. Like,
Something right. There's something right.
you could probably do one more. Maybe it's not a fluke at this point. What specifically, like, to get a bit more tactical here, provide value to our beautiful audience
Sure.
here. What in particular did you do to get those, let's say, second, third, fourth, fifth clients? Once you joined us in CMB, like, what were the particular strategies for outreach that you implemented to land those clients?
So I think first of all, you have to ask yourself, instead of asking, cold email is the best, is cold calling the best? No, it's not. Spoiler
I can
alert.
tell you that for free.
You got to ask yourself, where are your prospective clients? Are they on Instagram? Are they on LinkedIn? Do they check their emails or not? You have to find that out yourself. I can't tell you the answer. Sean can't tell you the answer. So for me, I had to switch from Instagram to LinkedIn. So I used LinkedIn at first. A lot of training that Sean and his buddies had provided in their inner circle, the other courses as well. LinkedIn first and then cold email. While I was waiting for the cold email, LinkedIn was working. And once I did cold email, that was where things started to really take off, because people in my niche, in the real estate niche, they check their emails every single day. Like when they pop in, they're checking it because it's so important to them. Once I found that out, I had like an open rate of 70%.
Yeah, wow.
It was like I knew my emails were guaranteed being read.
Yeah. If you have a strategy that's working, there's no need to go and like, hey, I think that's a big mistake, honestly, a lot of people make, is they go, wow, I did that thing and it worked really well. Let's never do that again and let's go try this instead. If you have something that works, just rinse and repeat till it stops working. You can test other stuff on the side, of course, but don't take your focus away from what's already working, right? How do you balance kind of like a consistency approach of like takes a certain amount of outreach messages to get results to conclude that this doesn't work versus like switching fast enough? When is a dead horse a dead horse? At what point are you like flogging the dead horse and you're like, my audience is not here? And at what point like have you given up too soon? Do you know what I mean? How do you kind of strike that balance?
For me, I actually realized that when I was doing the financial advisors, it was like a whim of the thing. It was, this thing exists. Let me see if it makes sense. But when I dug down to my own skill sets, I was like, okay, real estate is actually the thing that I can see myself providing because I've done it in the past. So first of all, competency, can you provide? Another one is, I think, having those feedback loops in place. There's so many directions in this because your offer has to be right.
Yeah.
So I think the way Sean talks about it, everything is a scientific process. So with the whole process from prospects, from even before the guys have heard about you, your offer itself, how good is your offer? Is it something people will look at? Is it relevant? Does it actually solve a problem that they actually want right fucking now? So all these questions. So let's say if your cold email isn't working, maybe it's your offer. Is your people even checking the emails? Yes or no? When you want to see, hey, where is the hole in the funnel? With Sean's process, it's so easy to look at where it's fucking up. Does that make sense, Sean?
Yeah, so you can kind of have some baseline metrics to kind of consider, like, I've sent this many, emails or DMs, I've got this many replies, this many calls booked, and this many closes. You can kind of look at the numbers versus the benchmarks of what they should be, and you can kind of analytically go, all right, well, I managed to book 12 calls and close no one, probably my sales skills on the phone, right? Versus maybe all my emails are being opened, they've clicked the link, but they haven't booked a call. So then maybe it's the copy in your email, right? But the subject line's good because they're opening, right? So it's like you can get really scientific with what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you need to work on. When did you kind of make that switch from Instagram's not working, let me try LinkedIn? You said you gave it a couple of weeks, right?
The first couple of weeks I was working 70 hours a week. I time tracked everything and I saw like my first week, 78 hours.
Okay, that's a sufficient amount of time.
Creating the offer, the script for the IG, doing it. So I believe it was after 10 days.
Right.
Of doing it, I was like, okay, I'm getting some responses. People are like, no thanks. The offer wasn't good. So I went back and then I thought about it. Every single day, you're like, okay, I'm sending 10 IGDMs. I'm sending 20 IGDMs. Whatever that you can commit to a number, commit to that. So every day do it. And at the end of the week, Sunday, don't do anything. Or maybe like half the day, take it and then be like, hey, what is happening right now? Where is the hole in my fucking funnel? You don't want to get caught up in like the nitty gritty stuff. You want to have that high level view. Where am I fucking up? let's go deep on that and then reiterate.
Yeah, I just want to stress that, like, when most people are like, dude, I tried it for 2 weeks and it didn't work, they're doing like 2 hours a week, to conclude that it didn't work. I sent 10 cold emails and I didn't get a response. Email doesn't work. I want to stress that this dude literally put in 80 hours before he concluded, okay, I don't think they're on Instagram. Let me go try a different platform. And I think that's certainly enough time to give it, to make that call. Most people make that call way too soon. Or they do the opposite. They keep flogging the dead horse well after they should have maybe pivoted and tried something else. But most people definitely are on the former. You tried financial advisors, didn't really match the offer with Facebook ads. So you found that out only by doing it, right? Another thing I want to stress, that's like some of the shit you don't figure out until you actually go out and do it and try it. Then you pivoted and you went, okay, they're not on Instagram, they're on LinkedIn. Let me try LinkedIn. And then you're like, okay, well, I think real estate agents are a better fit than financial advisors. Let me go after them, especially for Facebook ads. Actually, there more on email than LinkedIn. So it's kind of like it was overall a discovery process, right? It was kind of just trying one thing at a time and changing one variable at a time, right? Because you weren't changing my niche and my offer and my outreach process. It was just like, let me change one of those things at a time, measure the difference. Then let me try change my niche. Same outreach platform, okay, slightly better. Keep the same niche, but change the platform.
Right.
It's quite scientific and calculated like that, right?
Very scientific. You can just spot that fucking hole.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way to go about it. Like just change one thing at a time, rather than just kind of fugazi, a bit of this, bit of that, right? Which most people do.
Just a pile of shit. You can end up with.
It's like mixing all the colors together and you just get brown.
Converges and converges.
Literally, yeah. What comes in one clusterfuck? The anti-rainbow. Okay. So when you're cold emailing to get clients, what are kind of the most important elements you have to have in your mind? Like, is it making sure you target the right people? Is it having the right offer? Is it a really enticing subject line? Is it the copy in the email? You tell a story in there? Is it the proof that you put in there? The way you present and structure the offer and the guarantee? Like, what are some good practices when it comes to like cold emailing that someone watching this can go and implement right now? Like, what are some of the most important things?
This is like an hour call. This is going to be like a 2-hour thing.
Just like if you had to pick kind of, not the whole thing, but like a couple important things.
The offer. If it's the one thing that I got fucking low, it's the offer. What is your offer? For me, my offer, I remember, was if I don't get 20K for you within 30 days, I would send you like a pack of Tim Tams for free. Or like, I'll take every single Tim Tam from Coles supermarket in Australia.
You stole my Tim Tam line and you just took it to the next level. I'll go buy every Tim Tam from Coles and I mail them all to your house at the same time. I'll just drown you in Tim Tams. Until you're smiling.
Someone who's going to use that.
Until you're smiling ear to ear. That's beautiful.
But no, it's the offer. 100% is the offer. So to get a good offer, you need to understand your fucking market. How do you understand market? By talking to them. So for me, cold email wasn't that thing that got me to understand who my clients were. So when I did LinkedIn and IG, that's how I started to understand the mindset of my prospective client. So I found that the buyer agent that I was speaking to, the person that I wanted, is a very small agency, maybe like 3 to 4 people, maybe like 2-3 clients a month. It's very inconsistent. They maybe tried Facebook ads with a big agency and it didn't work. And they're like, okay, fuck this shit. I'm just going to go back to word of mouth referral. So I have a very clear model of who I'm writing to. And from that, then came the cold email. Then came the offer. And then once I had the cold emails going on, the first couple of calls I had, okay, shit, I realized my offer. I need to change it a bit here and there, refine my sales process. Because you think that this is the guy, but what it actually is may be like completely different.
Yeah. And then what people want, probably different from what you think they might want, right? One of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to cold emailing is they're so generalist, right? It's like, hey, if you ever need help with the marketing, just want to say, I exist. So here I am, and I hope you book a call. If not, like, that's fine, have a good day. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's most cold emails in a nutshell. It's like, yeah, I've made some money for someone one time, and it was good, and I can make you money too. So it's like, do you find it's really important to get like really specific with your offer in terms of exactly what you can help them with?
Huge. So, okay, I guess to answer Sean's question on the elements of a good cold email, subject line, personalization.
Huge. Worth the time, right?
To
spend 2 minutes, what's an example of personalization? Like, how do you...
if I send to Sean, I'm like, hey, Sean, is this a good idea? In the subject line, Sean, is this a good idea? And then in the email, actually mentioning your name, not just once, but like, hey, in the middle, maybe the end. One thing that I did was that I'm marketing to like real estate, agencies in Australia. I went to their reviews. I copied a review and I put it in the email. I noticed that, you helped Dan to sell their home. One guy literally, I spoke to him and he was like, you know what made me open your cold email and book a call? Straight from the one cold email. Was that you personalized your message. You put a client that I helped there. So I know that this email was for me and no one else. And that really stood out.
Yeah. That's huge. People don't want to take the time to reply to an email that they feel like it's been sent to 100,000 people, you know. And I don't think putting just that name in it's enough. Because it's like one word that you can change and send it to everyone, you know. So I think doing exactly something like that, totally perfect. Hey, I noticed you helped this guy accomplish this exact thing. That's really cool, man. Congrats. So simple. It takes you like 60 seconds. Look at their website. You know, pick something from there that stands out. Pick something from a recent social media post. Doesn't even have to be about business necessarily. Like you both have the same dog or the same taste in music. Or you love the same artist or you both have eaten at the same restaurant. Literally anything. Personalization is everything. It's absolutely everything. So we talk about offer, personalization, and if there was one more thing to keep in mind, like for a successful cold email, to get a reply, to get a call booked.
So guarantee, you should have a good guarantee. Don't use the code, the same 10 lines, because there'll be 100 other guys using the same thing. So guarantee is good. Position yourself as an authority as well. Who do you market? I put my face as a signature. So they know that, oh shit, look, it's a real fucking human talking to me. It's not some, schmuck, not Joe from like Gold Coast, just hanging out, the beach saying they meet. No, it's someone real. I put that I was, a real estate agent marketer. So they were like, oh, this is not like someone sent to yoga dudes, yoga studio marketers. No. This is for me. So just tailoring that whole email to make it seem for them. So authority, satisfaction guarantee, personalization, even having the email with story as well. Have a good story there, put your fucking personality. It's not just copy paste templates. No, it's like really you.
So I think striking that balance of like, I'm a credible authority. I've helped these people. I have this proof that I'm an actual legit good copywriter. I'm also just a human being like you kind of side. What's your overall tonality in the email? Is it like friendly, casual, very professional, somewhere in the middle?
Definitely not very professional. It's more like engaging them, like treating them as a real fucking human being. Super important. So that's the first emails, obviously. The thing is, with my emails, a lot of my calls were booked the second, third, fourth. People don't even follow up. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, blows my mind.
One of my clients that I got, the reason why I got 10K was one of the clients I got was a 5K deal actually. It came from the fourth email that I would send like a week and a half later.
Yeah.
When the guy went to my first email, he found my Calendly link and he booked a call with me. That was how powerful my follow-up was.
Yeah. Dude, following up it's the 80-20, right? It's like that thing that people don't take the time to do it and they're leaving 80% of the money on the table. Like if you're not following up by cold emails, like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're shooting yourself in the foot. So hard. Yeah, and I think another huge mistake that I see people making with outreach in general, like cold emails, is they talk so much, right? About like, hey, I'm a really good copywriter. I can do this for you. I can do that for you. I can write really engaging emails that get people to open and get people to read and click. But that cold email itself is boring as fuck, right? It's like super vanilla, very generic. It doesn't make me laugh, smile, like cry. It doesn't make me feel anything. It doesn't make me want to click the link at all, to be honest. It's just very like stock standard. I think what a lot of people need to realize is that actions speak louder than words, right? So it's like, don't tell me how good of a copywriter and how engaging your emails are. Show me in your writing, make the cold email itself witty, entertaining, fun, full of personality. Like, don't tell me you write with personality. Show me you write with personality by writing with fucking personality. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like such a simple concept, but it's something that people just kind of like, doesn't really click for them. Like they go into this, let me button up all my, buttons and write to you like, very formal and professional, like you're some college professor and you're asking for an extension on your final exam or something. It's like, dude, business owners are chill as fuck. And the more successful and rich and big name and whatever they are, the more chill they are in general, to be honest. Like I've met a lot of millionaire entrepreneurs that I thought they were like this big hot shot and they were all serious and stuff because they run this big business. They manage 100 employees and they make tens of millions of dollars. And you meet them and they're like the chillest, funnest, kindest, friendliest, most down to earth people you'll ever meet. Like they don't want to be put on this pedestal. They don't want to be like talked to all professionally like they're some robot in a suit. They're a person just like you, right? They go for walks on the beach. They eat food. Sometimes it upsets their stomach. Sometimes they miss the bowl when they go to the toilet. They have bad days just like you. They miss sleep just like you. And I think just realizing that and addressing them, talking to them, it's like a fucking person instead of like a prospect. Good idea.
Ultimately, people work with who they like.
Exactly.
I would never work with you if I didn't like you, right?
That's huge.
Maybe if you had a man bun, I would never have.
Damn.
I don't know.
How did I even get clients back then? Shit. Okay, I think we'll leave it there. That's a good place to just nail that one in. Dude, so some rapid fire sort of questions to wrap this up. If you had to kind of pick top 3 most valuable elements from CMB, from the program, it could be a content, the information, the community, the live calls, Facebook group, the messenger chat, coaching calls with Matt and Nico, the copy feedback calls, the mindset calls with Ari, like out of all the stuff that we have in there, what would you say has been the biggest needle movers, the most impactful, helpful things for you?
So I've heard a lot of people talk about this, but Facebook group's good. It's really good, but I think the one thing that stands out from your course, from what I've seen, is the sales, is the importance of sales. I think most copywriters don't realize this. I think that, if they write copy for like 30 days straight, or 1 month, or 6 months, they're like a god. They don't think they can sell themselves. They're making the prospect see that, look, if you get a 5x ROI, isn't it worth it? And for me, that's the number one thing that I learned from the course. The sales and your offer is the most important thing in the world. So those two, I think, so that's course material. The inner circle stuff we have is really game changer. I didn't even know I had access to the inner circle until I was like, hey, learned so much from that. But I think ultimately the feedback with you. So with coaches, you got Nico, you got Matt. But I think the time with Sean, because with Sean, you can actually get the higher level overview of, hey, what's working, what's not.
Yeah. Dude, I love how you mentioned the importance of sales. I think a big mistake a lot of copywriters make is that it's focused on getting really good at copy. And if I'm just a really good copywriter, then people will just know about me and they'll want to hire me. I don't care if you can sell fucking ice to an Eskimo. Like, it doesn't matter how good of a copywriter you are. If no one knows you exist, you're not going to get hired. You have to put yourself out there. You have to learn how to market, brand yourself, and how to sell yourself and your services. So many copywriters, would you agree, are world class. They're amazing at selling everyone else's products and services apart from their own. Like, they're like, man, I made my client tens of millions of dollars, but they have no fucking clue how to pitch and even sell their own services, which I find very ironic and funny and very typical. Yeah. So let's say someone has been watching this all the way up until now. They've maybe heard about what we do, or they're curious about finding more about CMB and how that all works. They're kind of on the fence of joining because, of course, there is a fairly hefty investment. Mm-hmm. Obviously, as you have seen with these interviews, I do believe it's worth it. I'm slightly biased. What would you say to someone who's kind of let's say, thinking about it, they're on the fence, they want to take this leap to make their freelancing career, really take it to the next level,
right.
Hit 5K, 10K, 15K a month, but they're a little scared maybe about the investment. What would you kind of say to those people?
Do before Sean raises his prices, before he doubles or triples it, because the value there, it's 5 times worth. Because what you're getting is a system for life. It's not 1 month, it's not 2 months, it's literally life. This shit works over a period of years, and I've just seen that with Sean's students. You got Ray, you got James who's scaling up further. So if you're really worried about investment, how much do you really care? How much do you really want to succeed? I really wanted it badly enough that I worked day and night, first week, 70 hours. That's what you need to dedicate yourself to, I think, to get to that level where you can actually start to see results. Not even in your first month, maybe in your second, depending on how far you work. Because that's really worked for me, that banana effect. I really only realized that towards the end where, boom, literally everyone that I was, sales call with and oh my God, they said, okay, we'll come back later.
Yeah.
Month 3, they're like, hey AJ, we want to work with you. Hey AJ, I've seen this message. I was like, wait, what? Where did these come from?
Right?
Oh.
You put in so much work for so long, you don't see any returns from it. Most people give up at this point, where they're like, oh, dude, I put in a few weeks, a few months, and I'm just not making progress, realizing that the journey to success is not this smooth, linear, straight line, right? It's hockey stick, it's exponential, it's a banana shape, as I call it. And it's most people give up at this inflection point here, right before all the results really start to come. And you don't really understand or realize how everything you've done, all the foundations you built, all the work you've done, basically all accumulate together and kind of pay off fucking some Karate Kid shit, right? Where he's why am I doing all this stupid waxing on, waxing off shit? You know what I mean? And then when it all comes together and, you're in the ring, you're oh, I get it. All the shit I've been doing this whole time actually is it all comes together and start to see the results. And I think that's the most motivating thing ever. And then from there, you're whoa, let's go.
Next level. I think the one thing you should ask yourself is the return of investment. It's how much time more do you want to dedicate to fucking around? To just going around, okay, maybe Sean's stuff is good, maybe this person, X teacher is good. Just take yourself to one. And for me, from what I've seen, Sean's course, there's really not much, I can't say anything bad about it because it's got me to where I got. I'm living proof. 49 other people are living proof of your teachings.
Yeah, 100%. I see people sit there and dilly-dally and hesitate, and the amount that some people take to make a decision of not even just my program, whether to invest in themselves. Some people take weeks, months, even. There's one dude, I had a call with him 3 years ago, didn't join. 3 years later, he books another call with me. is in the same situation as he was. And he just joined us like last week. And I was like, fuck, dude. Like in the 3 years you took to make that decision to really like take this shit seriously, like we've helped like what, over 50 people that I can count, hit 6 figures, dozens more quit their jobs, 3 of them even 7 figures. And it's like, yeah, in the time that some people take to make a decision, you literally could have joined, you could be like at 10K a month already. Crazy, like how long people take to make decisions. And yeah, he wasn't kidding, by the way. We are raising the prices by $1,500 at the end of this month, hopefully, if not within the next month, for sure. You may be wise to get in before that. That's all I'll say.
Maybe. I mean, your students will have success.
If you want to pay more, that's totally fine. Like, I'll take your money, but I mean, you don't have to. That's all I'm saying. It's still worth it either way, in my opinion. Cool. Dude, a couple of final things. What's next?
Sure.
For AJ? What's on the horizon? What's coming up?
After I hit 10K, I still had clients coming back to me being like, hey, let's work together. I'm like, listen, my schedule is capped out. Let's work together in a month.
Good problem to be.
I'm getting on calls being like, I don't care whether you sign up or not. I was like, if you come on, cool. If not, my life won't change. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
That is a interesting position to be in.
Yes. Much more powerful position to be in than like, please,
just
I need your money to keep the lights on. Like, yeah.
No, man, but...
So what's the next, like, delegating, building out a team? You're going to sort of start an agency. Obviously, the next logical thing to do would be to raise your prices, right? Supply and demand, right? So it's like, if you have a line of people wanting to work with you, raise your prices until you only have half of them left, and then you're making the same or more from half the work, right?
Yeah, building more.
So that's the first step. Yeah. And then from there, it's like building out a team, building out the infrastructure. Do you see yourself going more down like I'm going to get so good at as a copywriter that I can charge 50K for a sales letter route, or more of like a building out a team and forming effectively like an agency kind of route? Because there's kind of 2 main ways to scale.
Yeah, so I think mine is more like a small agency. So I want to have like just 1 or 2 people. I don't want to scale too fast. So I know that I could hit 20K, 30K. Like I have the skills. Like I know it can happen, but your reputation is the most important thing. That's one thing that I'm going to keep, and I'm going to like keep on growing slowly. So that's where I'm at. Delegating, hiring, making sure every hole in my funnel is fixed. Whether it's outreach or even the new client work itself. So just building up a reputation. That's where I'm at in the next couple of months.
Yeah, that's really solid. Really, really cool, man. If someone wants to find you on socials, online, email, where's the best place they can contact you?
Or email. You can check out my site, ajnair.com. You should have a site. You should have a fucking site. People want to stalk you, where they want to stalk you.
It took me 3 years to build a website, so yeah, I tend to agree.
ajnair.com.
I only just have one now, like as of a week ago.
You got there, Sean. You got there.
I got there in the end, yeah. Thanks, AJ, for that.
All good, man. Yeah, it's Instagram, the AJ Nair, those 2 places. But yeah, man.
Killer, man. Any parting words of wisdom? Anything else you want to say to the people?
Well, actually, if you guys join, I did recently create a video of like my blueprint, I think 2-part blueprint that I have that a lot of people found pretty valuable. So you got a bonus there waiting for you when you join. So I might take it down. I don't know.
Oh, the takeaway. The takeaway.
Might have to by demand.
This man knows copy or something. Scarcity.
So join before it.
The urgency, bro. Shit, man.
End of the month.
Well, dude, on that note, appreciate you heaps.
Cheers
for coming over. Just your success. I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing where you're at by the end of the year. You come this far in 3-4 months, world's your oyster at this point, dude. Big things ahead. Cheers to that.
Cheers, man.
Killer. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Don.
Always
coming on.